Good morning everybody, welcome back to my vlog. I'm looking really crazy right now because today I'm going out for the day and I'm going to bring you with me. So I'm going for my 28-week scan today. So me and James are both off work. We're going to see our baby girl again. It's actually a growth scan today. And I'm going to share a little bit about being in a high-risk pregnancy. So I have kind of talked about it on my TikTok, but I am currently 28 weeks and a few days pregnant, but today is the 28-week scan. So it's Monday the 2nd of March 2026 today, and this has been a long awaited scan, to be honest, because my last one was the 20-week scan, and in that one she was measuring a little bit small. But they did say it's nothing to worry about. Like, you have a graph, I think it's called the centile graph or something, I don't know. And on that graph, she was measuring, you have like an average above and below, and she was like close to the below. And like I said a minute ago, I have been in a high risk pregnancy, which I'm going to tell you all about, but that has kind of just made them want to keep a closer eye on me because I've had high blood pressure. And well, at the beginning of the pregnancy I had high blood pressure, not now, but they think that that can impact the growth. So the concerns are that, 1 minute, I've got to close my eyes to do this. God, look at the rollers in my hair, awful. They think that the high blood pressure can contribute to a small baby, and I'm also high risk of developing preeclampsia, which is why I'm on 120 milligram of aspirin, low dose aspirin, that I have to take every day, and I've been taking that from 12 weeks pregnant. So with the blood pressure thing, it was a bit strange really, because to be honest, I've never had high blood pressure. I've never been told I've got high blood pressure until I went for my 8-week midwife appointment. So when you first get pregnant, so you call your doctors, they book you in with the midwife. So I went there at 8 weeks, and in that appointment, before I do that, I'm going to take these out. I will continue the story in a minute, but my hair is like poker straight usually. So watch this not even have done anything. So I have poker straight hair. I shouldn't have done that. Probably should have saved that one till last. Yeah, poker straight hair, and it does not hold a curl at all. I've only had these in for about an hour though, so not very long, but I just wanted a little bit of something. What's it saying? Like a proper emo. Has it even done anything? Let's have a look. Oh, she's got a little bit of volume. Oh, I love that. So you see this volume now? Give it 10 minutes by the time I've finished recording this intro, and it will be flat as a pancake. But no, I like that, just for the volume really. Looks nice. So where was I? Sorry. This is one thing about me, I flit around when I'm telling the story as well, which is not good. So yeah, went for the 8-week appointment, and in that appointment, it's already quite an intense appointment. Well, it shouldn't be, but it was for me, because they kind of ask about your family history, any previous like birth complications. Obviously this is my first baby, so but James has got 3 other kids, but everything was fine with their births and stuff, no issues. But in that appointment, obviously me and James have been together for 6 years this year, but you would think that I'd never met the guy, didn't know each other. Like, he was kind of divulging all this stuff about his family history, you know, people that have had like certain birth defects and whatever in his family, and I was like, what? You've never told me about that? So I just started to like overthink and panic in this meeting because James was sharing all this stuff and I was like, are you sure? Like, no. But it wasn't any of these like, well, the kind of like aunties and uncles who things had happened to. But anyway, I wasn't expecting it. So it kind of threw me off a little bit. And there was a student nurse in there as well. And when she was checking my blood pressure, every time she went to check not my blood pressure, God, I can't string a sentence together at the minute either, my baby brain, honestly. She had to take my blood, this student midwife, and she was really nervous and she was trying to get my vein and she kept like missing the vein and it was like hurting a little bit and it was just obviously making my blood pressure go up. So after that, then they were like, right, now it's time for your blood pressure. And I was like, great. And I could feel like tense. I could feel stressed as it was. So I knew it was going to be high. But lo and behold, they did it and it was really high. It was like 152 over like 97 or something ridiculous. And she was like, oh my God, that's really high. Like, we're going to have to do it again. So she did it a couple of times. And that made it go higher and higher and higher. And I was like, I think it's just because, you know, I'm a bit stressed and like this appointment and everything else. So she was like, okay, well, see how you get on. And this is really knackered, by the way, Charlotte Tilbury, the shimmer blush stuff. See how you get on, and your 12-week scan, they'll kind of assess you again, and if you've still got high blood pressure, just be prepared. They might put you as a high-risk pregnancy because this blood pressure, you know, it's high and not good for the baby. So I was like, but she said it could just be because of this appointment, like you've said, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, fine. So got to 12-week scan and got in there and I sat down to go and see the baby. I was so excited. I had a private scan at 9 weeks, so that was just like a early reassurance scan. But obviously they're like just a bit of a blob at 9 weeks. You can't really see anything. So I was so excited for this scan. Got there, lay on the thing, and it was a young girl doing it, and she must have been quite junior in her career or whatever, because the second I lay down, she was like, oh, really sorry, not gonna be able to do the scan today. The baby's in a difficult, awkward position. So I was like, can you not, like, can I jump around? Like, can I try and move? Is there anything we can do? Like, I really wanted to see the baby today. And she's like, no, really sorry, you're gonna have to rebook. And I was like, I work full time, like, it's not easy to just rebook. And she was like, well, sorry, obviously that's the way it's going to be, kind of thing. So I then had to go and get my blood pressure checked after that, and lo and behold, it was really high again, because obviously I'd not seen the baby, I'd not had any reassurance, she couldn't measure the baby, so I was leaving like, again, a bit stressed because I'd not had any kind of confidence that everything's okay. And obviously your 12-week scan is where they do really like give you that reassurance that things are okay. So I rebooked him for 2 days later, but when in that first appointment I had to go and see the doctor because my blood pressure was so high, and she was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, well, you know, I'm just a bit stressed, it's my first time pregnancy. And at that time as well, we just bought our house, which I talked about on my last vlog. Obviously we've been renovating it. We just had a lot going on. So I was just quite stressed, and I said, you know, I work a stressful job and everything else. And she was like, right, she was really serious. She was like, you need to relax. She said, your blood pressure is critically high, which is not good for the baby at all. If you have high blood pressure, it can reduce the blood flow to the baby. You know, and basically said, we think you're high risk of preeclampsia. So I was like, what's preeclampsia? And then she said, basically, it impacts the placenta and stops the blood flow to the baby, which ultimately can cause death to the fetus and death to the mother. So as soon as she said that, I just was like, okay, like holding back the tears. And then luckily James jumped in and was like, well, is this normal? Like, do many people get this? And she was like, it's not normal, which is why we're putting you as a high risk pregnancy from here on. But we want you to take the aspirin and take it every day. You'll take this throughout the rest of your pregnancy, and you need to go to the midwife once a week to have your blood pressure checked. So I was like, okay. And kind of left there. I went to get my prescription. I just burst out crying. So I was like, what's preeclampsia? Like, oh, I need to de-stress. And I just put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure like I wasn't stressed and stuff like that. And then, to be honest, the weekly midwife appointments were a godsend, because going to them every single week was really helpful for me. It helped reduce my blood pressure, because I was getting used to them. Like the midwives would sit down and talk to me and explain to me what actually happens if your blood pressure, so they put mine as, if I go over 140 over 95, that's when I have to go into hospital. Now, I thought when they say going to hospital, because I'd Googled preeclampsia and learned that the only way to stop it is to basically give birth. I thought that when they said go into hospital that I would have to go in and give birth. I had no idea. So every time I was going to get my blood pressure checked at the midwives every week, at the beginning, I was really anxious, because I was like, oh my God, if it's too high, like they're going to have to like terminate the pregnancy basically. And then I sat down and the woman was like, what do you think is going to happen if your blood pressure? She was like, don't worry, like if your blood pressure goes over, it's not the end of the world. I was like, does that not mean I have to give birth? And she was like, no, of course not. It just means they'll monitor you. You'll stay in hospital for a couple of hours, and then they'll probably put you on blood pressure medication. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for explaining this to me. Like, I had no idea. And then that really calmed me down. And then every other appointment after that, my blood pressure has been fine. Like, it's elevated, so it's averages around 121 over between 80 to 85, which is in the elevated range, but it's not hypertension stage 1, 2 or 3 or whatever. So it's manageable, and I don't have to go on medication for it. So since she said that, I've been absolutely fine, touch wood. Obviously I'm in today for my 28-week scan. But yeah, it's been okay so far. I've been managing it. At my 20-week scan, they told me everything was fine. Obviously, it was just her growth, but they said not to worry about it. They said it's not concerning. It's babies do change at every single scan, but because I'm in this high-risk pregnancy now, I have got to obviously stay close to them, which is a good thing, to be honest, because I genuinely believe the only reason my blood pressure was so high the first two, at the 8-week and the 12-week appointments, was because it was the unknown, obviously not seeing the baby and being able to get the reassurance, you know, that first appointment, not understanding what's going to happen. I think it's just the unknown that was making me a bit anxious. And then, yeah, since then it's been fine. So I think I'm fine, touch wood, fingers crossed. I don't think there's any issues or anything. But yeah, we'll find out more today. I am a little bit, well, my gut is telling me everything's going to be fine. Like, it's okay. There's no issues. And my bump, I'll show you quickly, has really been growing now. So I think she's growing okay. I think, fingers crossed, she's going to be absolutely fine. So looking forward to it. But I will bring you along with me today. Obviously, I cannot record in the scan, but I'll give you some updates and whatnot. But what we are doing first is dropping my car off to have the airbag done. It's had a safety recall. I've got a BMW, so both off work today. So we're gonna go and drop the car off, maybe get a coffee and stuff, and then go to my appointment for 1:30. So I'll keep you updated. So update, we're back at home. It is now 11:30. We dropped the car off this morning, got back successfully, and then the nursery actually called me. So I am inquiring about nurseries at the minute, because me and James both work full-time, both have careers. But can somebody tell me why nursery is so expensive? It's like a second mortgage. I've inquired at a few, but essentially the baby would need to start in April 2027. So I get a year's maternity leave, and I do get enhanced maternity pay, which is really good with the company that I work for. But you get 6 months full pay, and then you get 3 months at statutory maternity pay, which is like nothing. I think it equates to like £700 a month or something like that. Obviously can't afford to live off that. And then after the 3 months, so 9 months in total, then it runs out. So you can have up to 12 months, but for those last 3 months you're basically on zero pay, which I can't afford. So I could probably stretch it for like an extra month, but essentially she's going to have to start nursery when she's 11 months old, which breaks my heart. But we've got to do what we've got to do. Obviously we've got to be able to work and keep a roof over our heads and got bills to pay, so unfortunately we don't really have another choice. People have said to me about like, oh, why don't you drop down to part-time and stuff, but we just can't afford it. Like, I have a really good career. I'm fortunate that I've worked hard to build my career and I earn a really good wage, so I can't afford to like lose my income. So we're looking at 5 days a week, but we're trying to be flexible, like between 8 and 5, maybe between those times. Like between me and James, I start work at 9, so maybe I'd drop her off, and then James maybe could try and finish work for 4:30 so he could pick her up. But yeah, it's just really difficult. But coincidentally, the nursery I inquired about just called me today on the off chance to say, are you free? Do you want to come and have a look? So I said, yeah, actually, I'm off work today. So we've both just been to have a look at the nursery, have a look round. And it was really nice. It's literally like an all-inclusive for kids. Like, there's a sleep room, there's like loads of activities. They've got an outdoor bit, they've got a little paddling pool in the summer, they've got really healthy meals. And I really liked it, to be honest, but that one was like £1,050 a month. And then the other one I've seen is £950 a month. And I think the cheapest one is like 760 or 770 or something like that. And that's more of like a nationwide well-known nursery. And I've not been to look at that yet. So I might, if we get time, see if I can get in today. If not, we've got some more time off at the end of the month, so I might look then. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed looking around the nursery. It's made me feel a bit more assured, because I was just so worried about leaving a 11-month-old in nursery for the day. But there was loads of young kids there. Obviously, I think it's just so common now, like mums have to work. So there's loads of little ones asleep and stuff, and she'd have her own crib with her name on, and like, yeah, it was nice. And you get all your meals, all your nappies, all your formula if she's still drinking milk by that. I do want to breastfeed, but only for 6 months. So yeah, just funding it now. Got to figure out how we're going to do that with the second mortgage. But yeah, at least we've been to C1, so we're like one step closer. And it sounds crazy because it's literally currently March 2026, but to get them in for April 2027, they only have like 15 spaces for children under 1 year. So it does get booked up really fast, so you have to act fast. Hence why hopefully I'm going to sort it by the time she's born, at least, anyway. So we're just about to head off for the scan, so I'm just eating a little chocolate pot to try and wake her up a little bit so she's moving around, because sometimes she's always in a difficult position, and every time I go for a scan I'm usually there for about 4 hours. So let's hope she's active today. So we're just on the way to the hospital now for the scan, and they give you one of these when you first get pregnant, and this is probably my third one now, so I always lose them. But I've just realised this is from my 12-week scan, not my 20-week one, so it's not actually got the up-to-date information in, and it's my wrong name because I did get married 2 years ago, but I've only just changed my name. But I'll take it anyway. But they put like your reports and stuff in the back, but I don't know why they don't just do it all online now, because who can remember to carry this around, especially if you're a type B person like me that's just scatterbrained and does not remember pieces of paper. So we've just arrived at the hospital, so excited. This is the maternity unit, Derby Hospital. Not long now till we see our little girl. Woof, woof. So that is the 28-week scan done, and our little girl is turning into a right little chunky monkey, isn't she? Yeah. So she currently weighs, just driving out the hospital now, she currently weighs 3 pounds. So everything's measuring perfectly. So I said at the beginning of the video, at my 20-week scan she was small, but now she's bang on average, like on this, the middle line and the centile thing, she's bang on average. So the doctor was like, just keep doing whatever you're doing, it's working, which was really, really nice to hear, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She's in, I forgot what the medical term is, but no, breech is when it's the other way around.
Oh.
She's head down, so it begins with C. But yeah, she's head down, really low in my pelvis, and to be honest, she has been since I got pregnant, hasn't she? Every scan we've gone to, they've been like, oh, she's sitting like really low in your pelvis. But now she's feet in the air, head down, right down into my pelvis. And yeah, she's really happy. She's looking chunky. I'll show a picture of her in a minute. She looks like she's gained some weight, so all those little chocolate pots I've been eating and indulging are obviously doing the trick to make her gain some weight. So they actually, based on her weight, they think that, so my estimated due date, I think that's what it is, the EDD was obviously 23rd of May, but based on today's weight and stuff, they think it's 17th of May. So she's measuring like a week early, a week ahead, but that can obviously change loads. But the main thing is that her growth is bang on where they expect it to be for this stage. Because I'm in a high risk pregnancy, I do have to now go back every week to see the midwife to get my blood pressure checked. My blood pressure was fine again today, so when she said that I was a bit like, oh no, why? But why did she say it was? Why have I got to go back every week?
Just to keep a double check, just to keep checking it, basically.
Yeah, like, because if there were to be any like risk of preeclampsia coming, it's most likely to be towards this like next 10 weeks, the last part of the pregnancy. Yeah, the next, well, I am in the 3rd trimester now, but the last part of the 3rd trimester, so I've got to go back every week. So I was doing that originally, then it went to every other week, and now it's back to every week to get my blood pressure checked, which is a bit of a pain because you can only do it Monday to Thursday as well. Obviously I work full time, so I have to come out of work to go, which is really annoying. But it's nice that they're keeping a close eye on me. And then what else did she say? Oh yeah, my next scan, I've got to go back again for a 32-week scan, so in 4 weeks time, which will hopefully fly by. But yeah, she was really happy with everything, and yeah, we're just super excited now, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's feeling really real. Let me show you the picture of her. So this is our little chunky baby. It's so funny because she looks so different from the last scan. She looked like a skeleton on the last scan, and now you can see like her cheeks are getting really chubby, and she just looks so cute. She's definitely got my nose, but her dad's lips. Dad's got juicy lips. And yeah, she's a little cutie. I think I said it on my last vlog, but I've got her like a baby book, which I'm like doing loads of progress updates in as well. So when I get back, I'll show you the other scans like over time, and then I'm going to stick them in the little journal that I got, so when she's older she can read it and like see all of her scan pictures. So I'll show them on there, like the progression, which is really cute as well. So we've just come for a quick Starbucks. To be honest, I don't know why I get this. It just tastes like ice and milk. So we're just waiting for my car to be done now. I did actually, we went looking for bathrooms, so we've not been home yet. We're doing our bathroom, I said in my last vlog, very soon. So we went to a bathroom shop to have a look, get some inspo. But I forgot to vlog as usual, so I'm gonna enjoy my cookies and cream iced frappuccino. And that, guys, is me for one day. I managed to pick up my car, got it all sorted. I actually love going into car dealerships because it gives me nostalgia. Fun fact, I did used to work in car sales for about 4 years at Land Rover, and I absolutely loved it. It's the best job I ever had. Did it in like my early 20s, from like 20 to like 24, and I loved it. And I would still do it, to be honest, apart from the fact it was 60 hours a week and I had to work weekends every weekend, but the commission was really good. Met loads of interesting people, like I had so many laughs, like I absolutely loved it. So every time I go into a car dealership, yeah, it just gives me the happy memories. So that's all sorted. We're just going to chill now. Back to work tomorrow, so I'm just going to cook some dinner for me and James. And I will show you my baby book before I go. So this is my little journal book that I'm sticking them in, my scrapbook. But I wanted to start it tonight, but annoyingly I can't find all the scan pictures. So the 8-week one and the 12-week one, I think are at my mum and dad's. But this is from my private 18-week gender scan. That's where they said she's a little girl. And you can see it there, but look at her little nose. It was so pointy. And then they did do a 4D scan, but I was only 18 weeks, so it was really hard to see it properly. So I am going to go back for another 4D scan, but at the right time. She just said when we were there at the private scan, she's like, do you want this? I'll do it for free. This one was at the 20-week NHS scan. There she is. You can see she's like getting bigger and bigger each time. And then that's the one from today. My little chunky monkey. So I'm going to book in for a 4-week, what am I on about? 4-week, a 30, is it 32? 40. No, when did we have the 4D?
I don't know. Any time before 32 weeks.
Any time before 30, oh yeah, we said we'd do it at 30 weeks, didn't we? So in 2 weeks' time. So now I can close off today's vlog. But yeah, I can't start journaling yet until I get my other little scan pictures. But thank you so much for watching. My next one I might do on the private scan because it's so much better because you can actually film in the room and get the content, whereas obviously in hospital you're not allowed to film or anything. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Obviously I love making these videos just for fun, but it would be great if I could monetize them in some sort of way to pay for those hefty nursery fees I was talking about. But yeah, thanks for watching.